there's so much advice you could follow. But over here, we're not trying to be the successful women who've built huge businesses and huge empires, but at the end of the day, come home, aren't truly satisfied in their personal lives, sad and lonely. Because God's will for everyone's life is different. Not everyone has the same purpose and destiny. Hi, beautiful. I'm still setting up my new recording background, so please give me grace. But I wanted to do a quick chit chat. Get ready with me. I'm getting ready to record some content. I just got back from work and I honestly wanted to nap. It's that time of the month. We're tired. We're not really feeling it. But hey, this progress isn't going to make itself. Okay. And what has kind of been on my mind to talk about is a key thing that has allowed me to kind of step into this next quote unquote level. And it's interesting because when I say step into the next level, I don't mean like make more money. I don't mean I guess I've been doing cooler things, but I don't mean like make more money or like anything like that. I mean like mentally to be able to step into like the next level of growth as a woman. Mentally, what is going to help you step into your next level of growth as a woman, as you're growing into the woman of your dreams. Because at the end of the day, there's so much advice you could follow. But over here, we're not trying to be the successful women who've built huge businesses and huge empires, but at the end of the day, come home sad and lonely, or aren't having any impact on their community, or aren't truly satisfied in their personal lives and pursuing God's will for your life, because God's will for everyone's life is different. Not everyone has the same purpose and destiny. And the only way to really like start to confidently walk in that is to trust. And a big way that this has showed up for me recently, trusting that number one, God made you how you are for a reason. There are some things about me and my personality that I don't like. For example, I'm very forgetful. Sometimes I don't always like hear how what I say sounds to other people before I say it. So I'll like say things in like a really weird, like passive tone, even when I don't mean to. Depending on the situation, I can be like a little bit too pragmatic, a little bit too type A. I can be very awkward in social situations. The list goes on and on. But you have to be able to trust that God made you that way for a reason. And why this is so important to trust is because it'll allow you to just really be yourself. I think that for a while, I always was like, okay, these are flaws that I have, so let me try to limit them being shown. Let me try to hide them. But at the same time as you're hiding them, you also can end up hiding the rest of your personality. You can also end up hiding your true genuine self. And so as you're on your growth journey, it's not about like diminishing the reality of who you are as a person, because no one's perfect. You're going to have flaws. It's about learning to grow while also being confident in being who you are, your full self in that moment. I know right now that when I go into conversations with people and now I'm more comfortable being myself, there's a 50-50 chance I'm going to say something that rubs you the wrong way. Like, it just is what it is, because sometimes I don't always deep it in the moment. But I'm getting better at that over time. It just is what it is. And you might have your thing too. Like I said, nobody's perfect, and I'm learning ways to like grow out of that. And the reason why I also know that this is like true and it's important to be yourself is because there's always someone who you can impact by sharing your imperfections. Like there's this girl I met at this youth retreat that I went to serve at, very similar boat as me. Like it can be really hard for her to connect with people too. But even though, we haven't talked since that event, we had an amazing conversation there. She got emotional and like it was just super impactful, and God was able to use that moment because I'm not ashamed of my flaws and of the things that are harder for me. And being able to walk in that allows you to be more confident in who you are as a person and walk in your purpose and impact other people. Not only that, but people like to see the real you. People want to know who you truly are. I think a lot of times, especially if you're on social media a lot, we get pushed these like caricatures of who to be as a person. Like, are you soft girl? Are you boss babe? Are you trad wife? Are you non-trad wife? Are you like, what caricature do you fit into? When in reality, that's not how life should work. That's not how things should be. In reality, you need to be able to just be like whoever you are. Be aware of your flaws. Be aware of the flaws that are like fine to not worry about, because we're human. Like I said, no one's perfect. And then be aware of the things that you want to focus on changing. Now, as you're becoming more confident in who you are as a person and more confident in changing, a big part of this, like trusting who God made you to be, is also trusting where God tells you to move. This is really, really hard. Sometimes God asks people to quit their jobs. Sometimes God leads people to shift in friendships. Sometimes God leads people through seasons of isolation. Sometimes God will lead you through a season where you actually need to be more in community, but maybe you're an introvert and that's scary for you. Whatever it is, I promise you, almost 99% guarantee you that whatever next step it is that will unlock the next level of your growth is going to be very, very uncomfortable. I can 99% guarantee you. And it's also not going to be something that you expect. Changes that I have had to make that I know I should have been made took me a long time to truly accept, to truly step into, to truly walk into. But the more that I learn to trust my process, to trust who I'm made to be, to trust the story that I've been walking in, the more I'm like, okay, I can make this decision, because if God has brought me this far, if I've come this far, if obedience thus far has improved my life this much, and by life, again, I'm not just talking riches, I'm talking internal well-being, contentment, then I think I'll be okay to keep on going. And the more you grow, the more you go forward in life, the harder that can become. There are some things that are really, really hard to give up. You might be in a relationship that you know God wants you to give up. That's not easy to walk away from. You might be in a job that is really, really comfortable, but you know it isn't aligned with your purpose. You're just there because it feels safe. That's not easy to give up. There are like steps that we can be called to take that are really, really hard to give up, but you really have to trust that the picture is bigger. Like I was talking to someone about this, and from a worldly perspective, or from the perspective of just like how things naturally work, it's like you put in effort, you get things back. You put in effort, you get things back. With God, the way things work, it's like when you walk aligned, what is needed to fulfill your purpose will just come to you. And so that's where that trust that I was talking about comes in. Trusting that God made you how you are for a reason. Trusting that God's calling you to change something for a reason. Because even though you can't see the end picture, you have to trust that, if that's what you're meant to do, the things for you to do it will literally come into your life. Every single like testimony that I've heard of people who went into full-time ministry, for example, they will like be talking about how, obviously when you go into ministry, there's not that much money. You're kind of depending on people's donations. And so it can be hard to like have resources for you, for your family. The stories of people getting free cars, of people's mortgages getting paid off, of just things coming out of the blue last minute, is because it just works differently when you're walking in your purpose. When you need something, you're not the only one who knows. God knows too. And it will be provided at the right moment. Even when we have to give something up, we're giving it up because we're learning a lesson. Even when it's really painful, makes you want to cry, like all of that stuff, just trust the process. I feel like my makeup never translates well on this camera because it's like just makes it flat. I think it's the color of my light, because in the mirror it looks really different than it looks on here. But you really just have to like trust the process of your journey, trust that it's your journey, and also understand that like what you're doing is not normal. Like most people don't take the time to do it, and it's not like it's a requirement, and it doesn't make you better than anybody else because you're not doing it in your own strength. But understand that it is going to be awkward. It's gonna be unconventional. It's going to feel weird. You're gonna feel weird, and that's just like what it is. So I'm done. Hopefully this is translating. I'm mad that you can't really see this makeup color. Wait, I'm gonna mute this light. I don't even know how to describe my makeup style. Like cute, simple. I don't know. I'm not a professional. Like I'm really not. Let me just. But yeah, you have to trust the process so much that you're willing to do whatever you need to do to make it happen. And whatever you need to do also needs to be aligned with what you know is right, what God is leading you to do, not just what you think is a good idea. Because there are some things that I think are a great idea, but I'm not doing them. Like tricking. Not doing that. Okay? Lock in, girl, and follow the Lord. Not everything that you think is a good idea is meant to be executed for your purpose, but you'll find and know when things are. I feel like this video was all over the place, but I'm still gonna post it because content is content, and this is just what I wanted to, I guess, I'm gonna put this down. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of my makeup products that I used in this video are linked down below in my shop so make sure to shop through there to support your girl. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.